Hello, American pop music appreciation students. Good to have you back. Hopefully you completed your first test, which was on chapters 1, 2, and 3. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about chapter 4 and also let you know that the test for chapters 4, 5, and 6 is going to be on Monday, September 19th. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about chapter 4. So you ought to be reading right now chapter 4 and chapter 5 because the next test is only 2 weeks away. So make sure your reading is up to date and your listening is up to date as well. I have downloaded some songs for you to listen to, and you need to listen to those songs. Some of the questions on the test will include songs and authors and things of that nature. So make sure you're listening to the songs. After all, it is a music course. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the test. If you have any questions about the test, the next test, which will be on Monday, September 19th, please let me know. Please send me an email. We're going to move a little quicker now and do 3 chapters every 2 weeks, so make sure your reading and your retention is on schedule. Okay, so the first person we want to talk about in chapter 4 is Irving Berlin. We call this era of American music kind of a golden era, if you will, because there were people like Irving Berlin, and Cole Porter, and George Gershwin, and Rodgers and Hammerstein, and Al Jolson, and Duke Ellington, and people of that nature, Fletcher Henderson. All these people combined to make great songs that became standards of the era, and which are standards that people still sing and perform to this day. So Irving Berlin, great story. He grew up as a poor immigrant on the east side of New York as a Jewish immigrant, and he was very, very poor. He grew up on the east side, got onto Tin Pan Alley, and started writing songs. Some of his most popular songs include Cheek to Cheek and Blue Skies, of which Blue Skies has been downloaded in Blackboard for you. It is said that he wrote between 3 and 7 songs per week. He was an extremely prolific songwriter. Another person from that era is Cole Porter, who wrote many, many standards that people still play to this day. And then there was George Gershwin, who was more of a classical composer, and he was famous for putting together what we call light classical, American classical music, and he took syncopated rhythms and chord changes from African American traditions and put them in an orchestral format, and that's what he was very famous for. Europeans think that George Gershwin was the originator of the American sound of classical music. And his most famous work was Rhapsody in Blue, and I urge you to listen to that. Another famous person from that era was Al Jolson, who was a fantastic entertainer, and he was a star in the first hockey movie, The Jazz Singer. He was a star of vaudeville. He kept going until 1950, and he was a very important person of that era. Al Jolson. One thing we have to know, we talk about standards, we talk about song standards, and standards can be defined as songs that have been around for many, many decades, let's say 5 decades or more, that people still continue to perform. Willie Nelson did Blue Skies. In the 80s, Van Halen did Just a Gigolo, which is a song from the 20s. So these songs endure. Their melodies and their lyrics are timeless, and oftentimes they had a form called an AABA form, which I'm going to try and show you how that works. I'm going to demonstrate it to you on my string bass. So here goes. Let's hope this works. The AABA form typically has 4 parts. It has 2 A's, which are, each A is a repeat, and then there's a B section, and then it goes back to the A. So I sent you guys the song I Got Rhythm, which is the most standard of all AABA song structures. So instead of making you listen to that, here's how it sounds from a bass and a rhythmic standpoint. So I'm going to play the first A section. It sounds like this. the first A section. Here's the second A section. Same thing. That's the second A section. Then comes the B section, which is totally different and is 8 measures. Back to the A section. That is called the AABA form of a song, which became a standard format back in those days and continues to be a standard format right now. So make sure you understand what the AABA song format is, and that you especially hear it. Go back and listen to I Got Rhythm and listen to the AABA form of that song. Okay. And read about it in the book as well. And also another one that I sent, which is in Blackboard, is called Deed I Do, which is still a song that people listen to and perform. A singing style that from that time period was crooning, which was basically kind of like the Celine Dion of the 1920s or the Barry Manilow of the 1920s. These were crooners who sang love songs that people could identify with. These popular songs appealed to middle-class culture. They appealed to themes of home ownership, a cozy parlor, piano, and mass-produced artworks, and courtship, and symbols of a homeowner's control over their domestic space. Often they were romantic songs with love themes inherited from the European song tradition. These are things you need to know. Make sure you know about George Gershwin, Al Jolson. Another person to know about is Bing Crosby. He was one of the most famous of all the American crooners. These are some of the names you need to know about from Chapter 4. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. AABA song form and some of these great composers from Tin Pan Alley and Broadway.